This presentation is made possible by these amazing individuals and organizations. Whether it was through Patreon, Super Chats, Super Stickers, or by watching, liking, and commenting, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Hi guys, welcome to the show today. It's Retro Nerd Girl, and I'm broadcasting live from the International Science Fiction Space Station. I hope you are doing well today. I am so excited to do this special review of the new movie that released on Netflix called Leo, and it was actually, I liked it. I liked it a lot. So I will check to see what is happening in the comments today. We've got a few. I was actually the first one to leave a comment, which just surprised me. And Keith Eek was the first one actually with a few jokes here this morning to tickle us this morning with a few things here. It says, joke, what do you give a Christmas tree with bad breath? And the answer is ornaments. And Keithy says, joke, there was an actor on this stage for the Christmas Carol, and he forgot all of his lines. Why he had the Dickens scared out of him? Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. And Unicorn says, thanks for setting the bar for jokes so high today, Keith. Yes. Um, and let's see. Keith E also says, also Siri has updated yesterday with many things being addressed. We'll see how she does today. She's doing okay. Maybe a little. I'm trying to, a little bit okay. Yeah, she's not too bad. Let's see. And well, I got my first confirmation. Keith E says that Hooper says that he can hear me, so that is awesome. And Daryl Johnson is here. Says howdy all. Thank you guys for being here. I know it's been a very busy week, and I appreciate you so very much. Thank you. Um, so this is going to allow us to get right into it. Let's see. Right into it. Let me see. Oh, wow. Daryl says, RNG. And Unicorn is waving to everyone. And yes, we're going to dive right into it. Let's see if I can get things situated here. Perfect. Let's see. Leo on Netflix. It is actually really, let me see if I can start off with the kind of the explanation for what this is. Um, so it is Leo on Netflix is I- is PG, and it's an hour and 42 minutes. It's about a 74-year-old lizard named Leo and his turtle friend. Um, Actually, that's not exactly what happens. I'm reading something that doesn't happen. Well, he's a 74-year-old lizard that lives in a school, and he is basically the school pet. And alongside of him is a turtle, and quite a few members of the classroom are ordered to take home one of the pets, and they decide to take home Leo, and Leo is pretty much trying to live the last days of his life because he thinks that he's going to die soon, and he thinks that he's trying to do some good in the world before he goes. So I can understand. We can understand that, and Leo is being played by Adam Sandler. This is a Happy Gilmore, or sorry, Happy Madison. Sorry, Happy Gilmore. That's the movie. Happy Madison production, and so this is their second animation project. It was actually good. There's a few moments in it where they kind of press the line of being inappropriate, and that's a judgment call for each person, but I really enjoyed it. It may not exactly always be for kids. There are a few moments where it's a little mature, a little like you're just like whoa, but it's I enjoyed it a lot. uh, it says it's PG, but I'm sure the kids it'll just fly right over their heads. They won't know. But Adam Sandler seems to love doing the voice of an old man, and so he's perfect for this lizard creature. And Bill Burr plays his turtle friend Squirtle. Let me give you a a visual on that. Yeah, there's Adam Sandler and Bill Burr. Um, and this is, yeah, they're usually hanging out in the school um, little area for them to kind of chill out. And all they do is play cards or chill out all day long. And life is quite boring for them. And for Leo, it's been 74 years. He was, let me see, some stuff written down here. Uh, he, 1949 was when he was born. So, and he remembers that far back, which is actually kind of interesting. I'm like, you remember that far back? So he was, yeah, he was born in 1949. And so he's been through generations and generations of students being at the school and like seeing and recognizing a lot of these kids and a lot of the things that's going on, but he doesn't get to actually go out there and experience anything. So he's feeling like he wants to go out and see the world. What's out there beyond the school walls? So that's really kind of interesting to him. Let's see. Uh, and Keith E says, "If Lance stops in, don't mention Napoleon. It's a 4-hour feed speech." Okay, I won't. And Daryl says, "If you didn't have such a shady past, you wouldn't have to keep an eye." Just kidding. You guys are so cute. And Skywalker the Jedi is here. Hello. And it says hashtag Netflix strong. Yeah, they're actually doing some pretty good movies and things. So I did enjoy this quite a bit. It might not be the taste for everybody, but it is a kids movie. And yeah, like I said, there is a few moments where I'm like, is this really for kids? But it's so it's done in a way it'll fly right over their heads. They won't know. They won't pay attention to it. And I'm definitely thinking that Netflix has some really good things coming up, and I think what I'm not sure if it's Amazon or Netflix has Candy Cane Lane next week, and I can't wait for that because I want to. Yeah, I definitely want to see that one, Candy Cane Lane. And let's see. Good to see you, Skywalker. By the way, and he says yes. All those years of being cited at Marriott and Holiday Inn. Even if I worked there, all the staff called me Mr. Smith. Oh, interesting. Um, and yeah, this is really, it starts off with them really being bored out of their minds. And Leo's just like, he's just an old grumpy guy that is looking for he's grumpy in a way, but he's also positive. I don't know how you can describe it other than positively grumpy and tired, and he just is able to um to kind of put a smile on your face a little bit. He's not all, when you think of a grumpy character, you think of maybe like a downer, but he does definitely has a charm to him. There's some other people in the story. Bill Burr does a great job of playing the turtle. I never really thought like when I saw these characters, I never thought of their real life counterparts, except for Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler is always Adam Sandler in everything, even though he's playing a part or doing something silly or whatever. It still feels like him, but with a lot of the other characters, or I would say three other people, you really feel as if they've transformed into the characters that they're playing, which I thought was really cool. So these are the kids that are in school this year. This is their last year of elementary school, and they are all going through something and by having to take them home with them, there is Leo talks to them, and it seems like animals can talk, but they don't let humans know that they can talk in this universe. But he's breaking the rules of talking to humans because he just wants to be able to do something with his life. So it kinda works, and he mentions, Art Carney. Art Carney was grumpy, but would put a smile on your face. It's very similar, maybe he was tapping into that. It was very similar now that I'm thinking about it as, a very similar character design or character feature, and, he's like he definitely did like I said, has a positive kinda thing to him, but there's also Adam Sandler in there. And some of the words okay, oh, also, this is what shocked me about this, and this is gonna turn a lot of people off. It's a musical. Yeah, it's a comedy musical. So, it's got a lot of the things that you would expect from a if you remember, like, the '90s and the 2000s where Adam Sandler used to do a lot of singing, songs and stuff that he used to come up with, and they were always, like, weird lyrics that were funny about something. That's how he really puts this together in the story. He's not the writer, but I do you do feel as if he is a strong influence over the story, over the music, especially. The lyrics are all kind of weird. It's not like your typical musical. There's, like I said, one moment you're thinking, oh, they're going to go in this direction, and then they go in a different direction. But if you stick with it, it actually turns out to be much better than you ever thought it could be. Actually, had some tears. I had some tears, guys, with this. This is really great. So, Unicorn Rampant Studios, I try to keep things positive, but so far you've described the worst possible things that could theater. Yes, no, no. Well, this is thank goodness this is not gonna be at the theaters. It's and Netflix, so you can watch it at home. They didn't put it in the theaters, so yeah, no, it's silly. It's a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. Um, but like I said, it may not be for everybody, especially being that it's a musical. When I say it's a musical, there is more talking than there is musical, but there's a good amount of singing involved, and which I thought this would have been better if it was played straight, to be very honest with you. I didn't mind the music. I understand where they were going with it, but I think it would have been better if it was not if it was just um, played without the music. Um, but there's a lot of comedic stuff going on in here, and um, there's actually no real bad guys in this story, except for there is a character, probably have to go all the way to the end, to get to her, but yes, Mrs. Mulch. Oh, let me see if I got her name correctly. I'm sorry, why they call her Mulch? There's a part of the story where he mulches. So that's probably what's on my mind is mulching. Um, Cicely Strong plays Mrs. Malkin, does the voice for her, and it's really, pretty good. I didn't even know it was her. So, uh, I was really impressed with that. Uh, there are some other names that you do hear, and you know exactly who they are. Rob Schneider, of course, he plays the principal in the story. And Jason Alexander plays one of the dads in the story that's absolutely obnoxious. They actually use kid actors for a lot of the performances here for all the kids, and they're I haven't seen them in anything, so, they're not really, um, they haven't really become famous just yet, but I'm sure if they, they keep working at it, they will. I thought everybody, did very well. And Unicorn Rampant Studios says, "Lizards poop constantly and leave poop in their Joe, it's almost impossible to believe any movie with a lizard if there is not poop all over everything." Oh, man. Well, they don't. They don't. They mentioned that maybe no, I'm not even sure. They don't mention it. They do say that uh, the turtle pees a lot. So that's about as much as they go. They don't go any further than that. And Grant says, "I know I'm giving it inappropriate criticism. I'm sorry." I'll stop. Well, that's just fine. These are valid questions. These are valid questions. Um, and so and Keith E says, "Okay, I'll see your lizard poop comment and up you with they're doing part two with Winnie the Pooh and the lizard." Oh wow. Yeah. Well, I don't know. They didn't mention that, which I'm glad they didn't, 'cause then that would be really distracting. But they did have, uh, it Leo's got an idea this that initially his idea is if he can go home with one of the kids, he can try to make a run for it and go and escape, and he can finally live the life that he wants to live. And I believe he wanted to go to, the Everglades or yeah, the Everglades, and where there's, like, a natural habitat for them, and he wanted to, go see the world. And this ends up backfiring on him later because, Mrs. Malkin is a substitute teacher who really seems to be having a hard time, and all the work that he's doing, she's actually getting all the credit for. 'Cause the kids are doing really well in school. They've really stepped up, and she wants all the credit. So in order to preserve her standing and being able to have that take all the credit, she's like, "Okay, well, I gotta get rid of this lizard." So there's no evidence that, there's somebody, some other forces that are helping the students other than me, finally. And she just doesn't have the talent as a teacher to do it because she's really more of a disciplinarian than she is of a loving, nurturing type of teacher, and so she kinda learns that later on. It's really kinda nice to see her arc in the story. Again, really great job by, let's see, what's her name again? Strong Cicely Strong, who was in, she did some work on Saturday Night Live, and, she's one of the funnier people from Saturday Night Live. And, yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it quite a bit. This is really a short one. Short review. I didn't do any spoilers. I gave it an 8 just so that way, you know, I thought it was decent. I did have some complaints, or some issues with some things, so it doesn't get a 10, but I thought it was a decent story and good enough to show the kids if, you know, we got smart kids. Now, let's get to the box office. I usually take an hour for this part, but we're, we're just moving quite along right now. All right, box office. We've got Hunger Games is number one, and this is at the second week. I think people like this movie, but I'm not sure if it's. I'm not sure if it's good enough for it to make a profit. We've been having a hard time in Hollywood getting people to actually go see the movies these days. I think everybody spent all their money on Barbie and Oppenheimer this summer, and their movie money is all spent up. So for the entire year, they're like, "Yeah, we're out." But yeah, there's some interest in the Hunger Games movie. What have I heard from about that so far? I think some people have said that it's decent if you've been following the Hunger Games. I haven't been, so it's definitely one I'm not interested in very much, but good for them. The second one up is Napoleon holding on. This is its first week, but we've got problems in Napoleon land because there are a lot of people who dislike this movie with a passion. And there's some people who are more like, it's okay. But I'm hearing a lot more people say how much this is offensive to them or it's not living up to the glory of what they expected. And yeah, I thought for sure Napoleon was going to be a home run. That looked like it was going to be a home run from according to the pictures and the things that were being released. The trailer, everything looks so epic and dynamic, and it's not being received that way, so that's a shame. Wish is coming in at number 3. This is the first weekend, so that's good, but unfortunately, that's pretty low for Walt Disney, and it is people are we'll talk about that later, but there is a very distinct issue happening here with Disney movies and people just not going to see them in the theater. Um, we have Trolls Brand Together. This is the second week. It's number 4. I not really doing that well. I haven't heard very much about this movie. It is not getting a lot of buzz at all. So that's another problem, I would say. Thanksgiving is at number 5. This is definitely a movie that is I haven't heard much about either. It 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 is it got very little um, promotional materials, so I don't have a lot to go on for Thanksgiving except for a few posters and a teaser trailer or something to that effect. And it doesn't look very good. It looks hilarious, but it looks like it was basically uh, one of those movies that's just making fun of. Well, it's not a comedy, but it's supposed to be real, but it just doesn't look like it's going to be very good. Just doesn't have uh, that curiosity. And then we have The Marvels. The Marvels is a, tentpole action movie from Walt Disney. They've poured a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars into it, and it's doing quite poorly on week 3. It's just going down um, this chart very quickly. It's at number 6 now, and unfortunately, uh, this is this is really alarming for Disney. Alarming. And then we have The Holdovers. The Holdovers, I heard, is an excellent movie. It's getting a lot of really good buzz, and it's on week 5 and still holding on number 7 at the number 7 spot. It's really, uh, once it comes out on um, once it comes out on streaming, I'm gonna just be the first one there because I want to see this movie. I heard that it's amazing. Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour is doing so good. It's still happening. People are still going to the theaters to see this, It's, at number 8, it's at week 7, so, yeah, that's happening. Beyoncé will be having her, big movie soon. She had a premiere, last week, so hopefully, we'll be seeing that also on the chart. Saltburn, I heard is a wonderful movie as well. Just it's at number 2. Did I don't think they spent a whole lot of money on it. Amazon Studios, number 9. I think that's pretty good, but I heard that it's an excellent movie. Um, Five Nights at Freddy's is holding on at the number 10 spot, and it's been 5 weeks. And this movie has way more legs than it oughta, and, good for them, good for them. And, oh, I didn't, talk about the last one, the last 2, which is, it's just under the top 10. Next Goal Wins, which I don't have a lot of information on, and Priscilla, and that has some controversy, behind it, but it's still in theaters and doing, like, decent for what I thought it was gonna do. Uh, and so we've got headlines, guys. Let's see what you guys are saying first. I don't wanna keep going without seeing what you guys are saying. Um, okay, Keith E says, "Last night on Lance's broadcast, they said the French are very upset with the movie." I think so, yeah, they would be very upset because they didn't get any of the history correct, as far as what I was told, um, about the movie. They didn't get any of the history correct, and that it just, it lacked a certain amount of storytelling, uh, drama, and so that, that's really sad. That's really sad. Oh, Cool Gamer's here. Hello, Cool Gamer. How are you? Um, and yes, we're talking about the box office. And we're just moving out of the box office actually right now. So yes, we're off to headlines. So the headlines are pretty interesting today. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper into this whole thing with Disney. What I wanted to talk about was from the Variety article. Instead, I'm going to read right from their quote. Instead of recapturing the studio's magic, Wish joins a long list of its underperforming 2023 10 polls, such as The Marvels, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, The Haunted Mansion, Elemental, that one I added, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. In total, it lost 196 billion in about a year, the studio, and that's really horrible to find out that they've lost so much money in the process of doing these big movies that are just not nailing it with the public. And uh, I don't know what to say. Like this is really pretty wild. Why is this happening to a Disney? Why is this happening? They're not doing any better with their TV shows, and they're all like 200,000 a piece, most of them. And I believe there was one that was only 90, and that one did well. But She-Hulk, that was extremely expensive, and yeah, it's a big loss. Uh, and it's not just Disney, because right now all the articles are saying Disney is burning, get your buckets of water, help put out the fires. It's not just Disney. We've got Killers of the Flower Moon did really poorly. Fast X. And look, this is at a time when people are saying, "We want better movies. We want movies done by auteurs. We're looking. We want new new movies, right? They're here we have Killers of the Flower Moon, a Martin Scorsese movie. You would think everybody would be running out to see it. They're not. Fast X. That's an action movie full of all that stuff that, would get a whole bunch of people to the theater. Did not work, not this time. Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Typically, a big money maker, didn't do very well. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Mission Impossible movies have been doing very, very well. Um, Tom Cruise's movies in general have been fantastic. What he did with Maverick last year was incredible. They even said that he was responsible for bringing back cinema. And this time it just didn't work. People were not interested in it. And I've heard lots of people say that it was a decent movie. There isn't, wasn't terrible. It wasn't a trash fire. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, something brand new, just not interesting. Um, and pretty much every single one of the DC movies released this year, just really out of control right now. Like, not even getting any kind of uh, like good thing out of this. They're all being ignored by audiences, and every single one. It's just mind-boggling. So it's not just with Disney. I know that it's really nice to about how bad Disney is doing, but it's Hollywood in general. People are not willing to watch just a regular movie anymore. And even if they do, I think we need to understand that people have other things to do now. We have a lot more to do than to go to the movies. So Hollywood and theaters need to figure out how to adjust for it. Right? People can spend as much time as they want to at home watching their own movies. They can watch streaming. They can go out and smell the flowers. You know what I mean? There are they're competing with people's free time, and people are deciding to do something else than to sit in a theater for, 1.5 to 3 hours. And so what is it that they need to go to the movies? They need an experience. They need they need to revamp or figure out how to make this interesting for the audience, right? That it's not just going to the movies, that it's an event like Barbie and Oppenheimer. It was a thing because people had to, oh, we're all going to dress up and we're all going to meet up on Saturday and go see the movie. It had to be like that. Even back when and the MCU movies were doing very, very well. We'd have people dress up as the characters that they love and go to the theater to see them. Well, now we're getting none of the characters, the main characters are even in the theaters anymore. So it just they're not even in the theaters anymore. So why we're going to see characters we don't know anything about? And so yeah, that it we they need to change the formula. It's not I don't think it's the movies necessarily, and I don't think it's I don't think it's the audience. It's all of us together, because this is a big situation and all movies are being affected. The whole thing is, oh yeah, people are too lazy to go to the movies. Yeah, what? That's our money. We worked hard for it. We can decide whether we want to go to a movie or not. The saving cinema should not be on resting on everybody's shoulders, and it should be more like, give us a reason to go to the theater. right? Like, am I tell me if I'm crazy, but this is what I'm noticing. There's no real reason to go to theater. When I was a kid, it was great to go to the theater because we didn't have as much going on, right? We didn't have busy lives like the way we have it now. Okay, we guy, we can get books read to us now. We don't even have to pick up a book and read it because we can get the audio version and somebody will read it to us. And most likely while somebody's reading it to you, you're probably doing a chore. So it really we this entertainment has to change with us as well. They have to figure out something, and they haven't figured out a way to make this interesting. They haven't figured out a way to even make the movies enticing for us. Like none of these movies got me interested in any of them. Not one of them. You know, I want a movie to be so exciting that they make me beg my friends to take me along, or I will dish out for $70 to go see the movie, you know, or 40. It's expensive. It's expensive to go see a movie now. It's very expensive. TV says Disney's annual report said that they were having problems with customers' interpretation of what they were doing. That's true. Because if they have something, I think they are working on something on some of the projects, but the thing is that the projects that they've shown us so far aren't good enough. They're just not good enough, and they're not exciting enough. And they're straying too far away from the formula, or straying too far away from what we're used to or what we want. Because people don't want to go to the theater and be like, get stuff that they don't want, right? Look, you went to see Iron Man, and you went to see uh, Captain America, the Hulk. Those were big Thor. Those were big characters. You wanted to go see those characters. We grew up with those characters. Why do we want them to be changed now? Why do we want those characters to be changed? Like fans that you've decided, okay, we're gonna make another movie or a reboot or a whatever telling, you you've got to be able to tell the story first the way the people are like used to it. Like we were fans of the MCU for those characters. And so they're changing the characters. Well, of course, you're changing the audience. And the audience that they want to go see these movies, it's just not enough of them. That there are not enough of these so-called new people that they're trying to impress. There's just not enough of them to fill up the theaters. So Uh, Darrell says, Disney is blaming the fans now. They should not do that. They should not blame fans. Fan, First of all, again, fans can do whatever they want with their money. They worked hard to earn that money. So they don't have to go to the movies to support everything that you're doing. I don't understand how blaming fans for not going to the movies, you didn't impress them. You're supposed to cater to them, not insult them and treat them like garbage. They're not gonna Why should they pay for that? Why should they pay for to be treated like garbage? Like that doesn't make sense. Keith, he says pretty much from what I've been reading about them in the financials. Yeah. And how much does it cost to go see a movie now? Oh my God, it's pretty pricey. Um, it's been a while. I think I managed to go one time, and it was $8, but I think it was special. It was like a special time. So I got $8. And that was being cheap, and I didn't buy anything there, which was kinda odd, but it's a lot more expensive. It's, like, close to, like, does anybody who was the last person that went to the theater? I know the last time I went, it must have been, like I spent, like, $30 on all kinds of stuff, and I don't even remember what if it was worth it. Keith, he says, "Sometimes politically incorrect humor can be funny." Yes, sometimes, yeah, sometimes, but it's not always being taken that way. So, yeah, we're in a time period which it's not being you can't really do that now. Unicorn Rampant Studio says it's important to remember that those reports are not Disney's opinion. Those are reports given to the people at the given to Disney. Reports given to the people at Disney. It may not be their own focus groups, but they're not generating that opinion on their own. And says, please remember, I don't like Disney for what they do. I could care less whatever ever said. Yes. And Keith E says, or one or two people making decisions without taking any other information. They just think that they know what's right. That happens that happens at work, and it's scary. Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, I mean, even if we took, like I was saying, even if we took Disney out of the equation, which is nearly impossible, but if we could, everybody is facing this problem of these tentpole movies that are just like no one's going to the movie theater to see them. It's more than just um, these are not like 100% awful movies. There's something happening here that we have to understand the behavior of the customer. The customer, not just audience, customer. That they can't buy every ticket for everything. So now that there's like they're choosing what they're going to go to see. Obviously, the money is there to go see Barbie. The money was there to go see Oppenheimer. The money was not there to go see Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning or Fast X or Transformers or even Killers of the Flower Moon, which is gonna get all the Oscars. So like these movies are there's something happening where people are saying, if this is not a big event, I'm gonna save my money for like another streaming subscription, or I'm gonna wait till it comes out on the streaming. And Unicorn says yes. It says yes, I agree, RNG. It's not just Disney; they're just the biggest ones dealing with it publicly. Yeah, they're really in the news big time. But all of these companies are just squirming, and Warner Brothers Discovery, they are in such trouble right now. They, it's really sad because they're in billions of dollars in debt, and it's barely moving. It's barely moving. And they're planning more, quite a few big movies in 2024 and 2025. So, ooh, will people go to the movies to see those? Uh, yeah, that's the big question. The big question. Now, I just wanted to acknowledge Victor J. Kemper. Um, and let me just check something here because I can go down uh, his resume here. Victor J. Kemper was born 14th of April 1927 in Newark, New Jersey. It was a cinematographer known for Final Countdown, Clue, and National Lampoon's Vacation, and died on the 27th of November in California. He had quite the filmography. Let's see if I can find some here. We've got The Candidate, 1972. Um, Last of the Red Hot Lovers, 1972. Dog Day Afternoon, 1975. The Last Tycoon, 1976. Prince of Central Park, 1977. Ooh, Coma? I love that movie. 1978. Eyes of Laura Mars, 1978. Oh my God, I love that movie too. Oh, he did both of those movies. Wow. He did The Jerk, 1979. The Final Countdown, 1980. Xanadu. Oh my goodness, Xanadu. That's another favorite of mine. 1980. He did The Four Seasons, 1981. Mr. Mom, 1983. National Lampoon's Vacation, 1983. Cloak and Dagger, 1984. Wow, I it's been a while since I've seen that one. I do need to revisit that one. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, 1985. We mentioned Clue already, 1985. Uh, oh wow, FX2. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the movie FX. I love that movie. They made a sequel to it in 1981. Um, he did Beethoven, 1992, Tommy Boy, 1995, Jingle All the Way, 1996. All right. On Golden Pond. Oh, well, this is like a 2001 movie. Yes, wow, he did so many really great movies. Yeah, R.I.P. Mr. Victor J. Kemper. And I thought this was an interesting. Let's see. Keith E says the competition between Barbie and Oppenheimer was excellent for the industry. Yes, it was, and inserted a lot of excitement, and you had to watch both. And I actually did. I was lucky to do so, but it was a big deal. Um, uh, and people were like getting dressed up and going to the theater. It was a big deal everywhere. I think they just from that just supported my entire town, going from people going to the the small theater, and I just wanted this particular art headline um, was from the Hollywood Reporter. Waititi says that he had no interest in directing Thor Ragnarok, but he did it because he was poor. And the filmmaker said he just had his second child at the time and thought this would be a great opportunity to feed these children. And I hope everybody understands that he's making jokes here. He's a kidster, if you and I really feel like he's got a lot of talent, but this whole thing was probably outside of his wheelhouse, um, as far as understand. I think he understood some of it, but couldn't connect with all of it. And with the fans and what the fandom really wants. But I kind of feel bad for him in a way, but also, yeah, he collected the money, and so he's got he fed those children, that's for sure. And there's this one thing, rumor going around that, they're looking for a female Silver Surfer, for the next Fantastic Four movie, and possibly Anya Taylor-Joy might be, is rumored to be, asked. And I say rumored, it's a rumor. It has not been confirmed by anybody that she's actually going to be cast. So I think it's is one of those feeler things that are out there to see how people are going to take it. Um, and personally, I think Anya would do a fantastic job at anything she's given. She's a great actress. I'm not sure it will be a great idea to do that since Marvel is the MCU is already having trouble with some of the things that they've done in the past, and they really should try to stick to form. However, if they want to go and take the risk, maybe it might be one that pays off. Who knows? You can't say until you actually see the movie, but um, there, uh, I'm, I think they should, like I said, stick to um, actually just having the character be male, at least in the beginning. At least in the beginning. Corn Rampant City says the problem for that movie is that Ragnarok is a well-known end of the world myth. So the world doesn't end. If the world doesn't end, then it's not Ragnarok. Oh, yeah, yeah. They did something weird there, and it's really disappointing in a way. And, Unicorn Rampant City said, "Wow, they're running Fantastic Four before it even occurs." Yes! By not just giving us, it is that basic level and already changing it around for no reason. Yeah, you change it around after you've already established what people have been dreaming about having for a long time. All people really want, like Disney, MCU creators, whatever, the fans, what they want is to see what is in the comic books on the big screen. That is that is what they want. After that, you can change things, but that is what they want. Give them what they want. Okay? For crying out loud, give them what they want. And Unicorn Rampant Studio, they really shouldn't be putting anything out there with Fantastic Four. They're not learning anything from mistakes they're making right now. Yeah, yeah. They've already like so many billions of dollars in the hole from experimenting with this idea of let's change all of the characters, you know, let's take that one scene in let's take this one scene that was so cringe in the last Avengers movie, and let's make the entire MCU this sort of like weird thing. And it's like every single character in the every single superhero in the MCU at this point uh, is it I would say the ratio from male to female is probably like 70-30, and if you can pick out any male ones, it's really kind of weird. Like that is not right. Um, the whole point was like to even the playing field if you wanted to like the same number. That would have been okay, but they're just completely changing every single character, and it is really scary and uh, doesn't seem fair. Unicorn says, give them motivation to the storyline to make the adjustments to the original situations later on. I agree. You gotta put that in the story. You've gotta write it in the story and make people care and understand. And that's what they're not willing to do the hard work of designing a story that makes you care. And Keith, he says, throw it against the wall and see if it's what sticks. Too much content, maybe. Both, yes, yes. But if it was all good content, I think we would be a little bit different. But not all of it is good, and we've got shows like She-Hulk to, you know, She-Hulk, um, started out very good, um, as far as trying to establish something, and then if somebody just shook up the story in a box and didn't know what to do. They did not know what to do with that. They did not know what to do with She-Hulk. And I don't think that they are fans of She-Hulk. I don't think they're actually fans of that story. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says, you have 60, 70, 80 years of comic stories written. Thank you. That have gotten everyone to fall in love with them. And when I say everyone, I don't just mean young boys. And then later, that becomes a broader audience. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Why do you want to do that? Why don't you want to kill the excitement your fans have for your property? Why? I don't understand. And they're doing it across the board from Star Wars to the MCU to Disney princesses. They're no longer being a princess. You have to grab, you cannot be a princess. You have to be, you have to do something else. That being a princess is no longer cool. It's not cool. It's not cool. And Unicorn says, I mean, look, Iron Man had nothing to do with Ultron Zero. He didn't have anything to do with making Ultron or participating in Ultron in any way other than to fight him and constantly be defeated. And Carol Johnson says Disney has buried MCU and Star Wars. Sad. Keith E says, I like the pun broader, maybe not. Um, I couldn't let it go by. Broader. I'm not get. I don't get it. Sorry. Oh no, I have to catch up with you guys. In the comic, I mean, and the She-Hulk comic didn't even take place in the same world that the regular Marvel universe is taking place in. Ooh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. And the humor in the humor is comedic. She-Hulk. I mean, the original first run was in the regular world, and was humorous. And the Vision invented Ultron. Oh yeah, well they changed that around. But I didn't hate that movie, but I know a lot of people did not like that movie at all. Um, the Age of Ultron. Uh, I kind of liked it. I'm a fan of James Spader. I can't help it. Uh, well, there's more rumors, I think, circulating to try to see if they could muster up some excitement in the fandom. And part of it is, according to a scooper by the name of Daniel Richtman, Marvel Studios is currently discussing potential second seasons for Miss Marvel, Moonlight, and She-Hulk Attorney at Law. And I actually don't mind this very much. They can do whatever they want. It's their money. But here's the thing. Uh, uh, I, I hope that when writing the second seasons to these things, that they are correcting, or at least writing them with some respect. My biggest problem with She-Hulk was that it wasted my time to the point where they were weaving together a story. Last episode, they told you none of the story mattered, and that pissed me off. I could have accepted anything else that they were doing in the story, but that also the court scenes were horrible. Like they couldn't figure out how to make this attorney at law be an attorney at law. It really felt like they'd watched Harvey, attorney, attorney at law, but not the one from the late night show that used to air on Network. It just was really, put a really bad taste in my mouth, but also, like I said, the beginning of She-Hulk started with somewhat of a story in it, and they were trying, but at the end, if they can season 2 could actually be a story, that would be great. And not leave it with all of these weird things like Hulk having a son at the last moment, like, who, what, where, why, how? So we're not gonna find out for years and years to come why Hulk has a son. Like, where did that come from? And Moonlight was an interesting experiment. I think Oscar Isaac really loved playing that part. He really was excited about it. He really wants to do a part two, but it just didn't get enough eyeballs on it. I did not check it out. I really should. But at the same time, it it if there is an issue with the show, part 2 could clean it, clear things up. I think the same thing about, like, Obi-Wan as well. Part 2 c could could be useful, but only if they make it strong and they actually bring in the right team to, uh to tell the story well. Miss Marvel did okay as far as, people liked this who watched it liked it, but a lot of people didn't watch it because they were already burned. But to be honest, if she did a part 2, she's the one character out of all the Marvels that people really wanna see more of because of not just, um, the fact that, the show seemed to be, good as far as I can hear, from people. They said they really enjoyed the show. There was also the actress who plays Miss Marvel seems to have a natural excitement for the character, has a purity for wanting to see, good, MCU products, and, that's really encouraged by the fans. So I think Miss Marvel season 2 might work. And, let's see. We got Unicorn Rampant Studio. Let's see. Unicorn says, even though these aren't things that necessarily mess with the story in the movie itself, problem is people went there for Ultron not to be the version of Ultron presented. And when I say people, uh, uh, Unicorn says, "LOL, few my kryptonite is nerdy comic lore." Well, yeah, this is great. I love learning about these things. Um, and Daryl Johnson says, "Stop watching Disney." And Unicorn Rapid Studio says, "I haven't watched Disney since Age of Ultron. Also, haven't watched Disney since the '80s. Besides the MCU." Oh wow. And not saying my view is the only one, but it really doesn't have anything to do with Disney. It's a generational fog. Saying Disney is at saying Disney is at all just like saying the government is out there and are people in making decisions every day is no capital letter Disney is no capital letter government. And Daryl says, Disney needs to get Bob Iger out and take his friends with him. Uh, and all right, let's see. And it says, changing the present doesn't make people smart. And Maddie Staddy's here says, good morning, beautiful. I'm at work, so I can't stay, but I'm driving by a light and then uh, getting back to animating this dragon. Ooh. Have a great stream. Oh, well, thank you so much, Maddie's Daddy. So great to see ya. And let's see. Unicorn says they should just try to make more original content from older things that aren't so beloved from memorable cultural events. Uh, yeah, well, there's so many things that they could do. Oh yes, I got it. I like, and Gary Carpenter is here. Good to see you, Gary. So good to see you. See all the cool emojis for the season. So cool, so cool. Yeah, yeah. There's. It's really sad. But I hate to talk about you know uh, that company, but they used to be on top, and now and I don't think they're in any less state than any of the other companies. I believe Hollywood in just general is in trouble. They have to figure out a new model for success, and it's not creating new streamers. It's not creating blaming the audience for not showing up, but it's more like creating events for your tentpole products. Like there just isn't enough excitement around them. You can't just throw out the Marvels and say, "Here's a movie, go watch it." Like it should be really more of an excitement building thing. I don't know. Remember? Let's play. Remember. For a minute. Let's take a ride in our DeLoreans and go back in time. And remember when we used to go to movies and there were products everywhere. They would link up with different companies, and we'd have all these cool products that you can get associated to with the movie. And I'm sure there still are, but it was such a big deal a while back. Uh, oh, what's going? Oh, Keithy, you're having some buffering issues. I hope it's not worldwide. Um, let's see. Oh, unicorn, thank you so much. Everything is great. Love it all. No negative. No, no, no. Absolutely. And I hear you loud and clear as somebody who knows about comic books and knows the lore of the MCU. I really appreciate everything that you've been saying. Especially, I want to know more about Fantastic Four. I know that you know a heck of a lot about that. So we'll be tapping you up for information on all of this stuff. I try to do as much as I can on YouTube because there's a lot of channels that kind of go through the history of a lot of these characters, and I try to learn stuff from that, but it's really nice. But anyway, let me say thank you for such a lovely gift. Thank you so much. Uh, let's see. Here we go. I love dancing. Daryl just said the Wayback Machine. Yeah, let's take that Wayback Machine and I don't know, for some reason big event move we have to they have to start making this a big event. Maybe there's just too many movies being released right now. I don't know. Is it too many movies? Because one thing that's really hurting the Marvels is that the timing. The timing for all of these movies is just all like weird. And there is no like movie that's really did any big time dominating in this time field except for Taylor Swift, and that's about it. So, and that was a completely different group than what is probably even on any of the radars for any of the studios. They don't take uh the young crowd very very seriously. So unless they want to exploit them. So it's really really crazy. Anyway, Unicorn Rapids is nice dropping in with a seasonal emoji. Aren't they great? And Gary Carpenter says, "What are they doing? Using She-Hulk as a, as a lawyer for she's Bruce Banner's cousin, not Perry Mason." That would have been actually interesting if they went with like a Perry Mason storyline in the TV show, but they didn't. They just ooh, they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball so hard. And I wonder if this is my last one. Oh, okay. One last thing to say. Willy Wonka, or it's just Wonka. Um, it's kind of weird because I got mixed reviews on this uh, so far. Some of the previews or test audiences weren't really excited about this, but recently we've got this report from Variety. Timothy Chalamet's highly anticipated Charlie and the Chocolate Factory prequel musical, Wonka, has finally been unveiled to the critics and the entertainment journalists, and the first reactions are calling it a winning confection and an instant holiday classic. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm actually looking forward to this. I want if this is going to be a holiday classic, I'm in. Uh, but I'm I'm really concerned also if it is a musical too. These musicals are really a tough thing, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. No judgment until we see it. Uh, so far, I'm not impressed with the uh, the trailers that have been released, but maybe they're going for a low impact trailer and then really wow the heck out of you in the theater. But maybe that's their technique. But who knows? Who knows? We'll be patient and wait and find out. Um, and Unicorn Rampant Studios says Fantastic Four and Spider Man were the beginning of Marvel's Silver Age. Then Iron Man, Thor, X Men, then Captain America. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, so yeah, I think they have it all mixed up, and I think it's because wasn't there a reason why they couldn't? It was it had to be. Was it because they didn't have Fox yet, and Fantastic Four was Fox? I think that might have been, if I'm not mistaken. There could have been an issue with the legal stuff, but yeah, it's I think it's all mixed up, but they're they they were able to create a storyline from what they had. And they were kind of like, okay, we're not going to follow the the comics exactly. But then the stuff that they're doing now is just almost like it's too aggressive as far as making the changes. They're really doing it too much. And then we still have characters that are established comic book characters that are really, really popular. They're not even they're just waiting for miracles to happen, like Blade. Like well, like that character. I mean, right now, in my mind, I have a huge, like, incredible storyline for Blade, and it's like, it's easy as pie. We're not really talking about a whole lot to the story except for they're vampires, there's Blade. You make a sandwich out of it. You make a Blade sandwich out of it. Okay? Put them together and boom, there's your problem. There's your solution. There's your story. Why what is the problem? Why can't we have a decent script written already? It's already been, I would say more than it's like 2 years or something like that when they announced uh, this new Blade movie that is still they're still discussing things and they're just rewriting the script. What is going on over there? And Daryl Jones says she loses the case and hulks out on the male judge. Is that what happened? Oh, maybe I did. I do I remember that scene? Oh, I'm not sure. Um, I don't. I could probably take all of that, but the thing that really is upsetting was the fact that they were telling kind of a story. I wouldn't say it was a strong story, but they had a plot going on, and then they just turned off the switch, and then said, "Hey, well, everything was taken care of, and no need to worry about the story. It's all been worked out." And Gary Carpenter says the guy that played Moon Knight died in a skiing accident. I think he was replaced. Um, um, Oscar Isaacs? I think he's fine. I think he's okay. I don't know. Unless there was somebody who was supposed to do it before. Um, and Gary says, if they wanted to use a superhero for a lawyer, they should have used Wonder Woman and her lasso to get things done. And let's see. Um, oh, okay. Daryl says, "Of course you do, RNG. I just made it up." Okay. uh, okay. And yeah, so I think this is my last story. So yeah, we did talk about a lot and ended up talking about Disney way too much. But yeah, well, they're the talk of the town right now. But I hope when I was a kid, Disney was a really great franchise. It was not franchise, but a great company as far as there were really great stories that spanned it back from when my mom was a little girl. And they did really interesting movies. Even they did a lot of live action movies uh, that were unique, interesting, and some of them were like Treasure Island or Moby Dick, and they were really kind of cool stories that were. Oh, I'm not sure if they did Moby Dick, but I know they did Treasure Island, and there were really interesting stories. And now they don't even attempt that stuff anymore, and I don't know why they they're so bent on repeating doing the live actions of their classics, and those classics were just amazing. So I understand why they would want to make the classics, but the classics need to stay the classics. So you got to give them some time, especially like Moana, which is a more recent movie when times were better for them. They're already remaking it. And sometimes they're remaking it with some of the same people in the cast. Like I don't know. I don't know. And Daryl Johnson says it's either that or Blade will have a daughter that will come save him from the super vampire person. Um, oh, you mean that's what you think that they're going to do? Yeah, they're not doing that. The they're not doing that. They're yeah, the last all I can say is that from what I heard, and that's not don't have special information, but the rumor is that there was a script that didn't have Blade as the focus. They're rewriting this now for Blade to be the focus, and the main actor involved is not gonna. He's not gonna put up with any of that stuff. I forgot how his some forgot his name. Uh, if anybody knows it, Mahershala Ali, I think his name is. I can never say his name, but he's not going to put up with any garbage. So yeah, it has to get through him first, which I'm so glad. A lot of these like really great actors, they end up working for the MCU, which is fine, but they have to really ask themselves, what am I getting involved with? Am I getting involved with a movie that is not up to my caliber, you know? Um, am I gonna be doing stupid junk for a laugh in order to fit a formula for a movie? Like, uh, this is a real issue that I have with like Anna Taylor-Joy joining the MCU. Her career, she's actually building up a nice career of doing auteur films, and possibly even if she's gets lucky enough to find the right part, she could actually win an Oscar with the right you know with the right combination, and that puts her in a different class as far as acting, getting roles, um, and if it's only just so that way you can make money, it gets to be, um, it, you know, I don't know. She seems to be a lot more thoughtful than that. It is, but if she has to pay bills, hey, look, you gotta pay bills. She's a working actress. Daryl says actors can be fried, but the money does the talking. You mean fired? Okay, fired. Yes, fired. Yes. Okay. Yes. Uh, yeah. Yeah. They can be fired, and the money does the talking. Yeah. And so, like, if she needs the money, yeah, she'll take it. But I would. I don't think it's a great move. I don't think it's a great move. And somebody was like fan casting Timothy Chalamet to do one of like a DC movie, and I'm like, don't don't do this to your career, you know, unless it's one of um the Black Label ones, or if it's working with somebody else on. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And you get like all wrapped up into this whole thing. Which one is better, DC or MCU, and all that garbage? Like, they're movies for us to enjoy. Either you enjoy it, or you don't enjoy it. But you know. Oh, so you meant fried? You're so funny. I I typed too fast. Okay. Well, guys, I think this is it. And let me just find there was one other thing I wanted to tell you. Um, let's see. I thought there was one other thing that I wanted to tell you. Oh, yes, for the I better not tell you guys, but oh, I might as well say it now. Tomorrow they're going to have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny um, on Disney Plus. So for all you guys who haven't seen it yet, but you have Disney Plus, go ahead and you might want to take a look at it. I might. I don't know. Uh, haven't I haven't decided yet, but on this channel, I just wanted to let you know what the schedule is for this week. Uh, Hopefully, this Monday you got, if you were a member, you got um, members got a video this Monday. Mr. Saint Nick was the movie that I saw, and It was really very entertaining. Also on Sunday, you guys, who are on Patreon, you got an early access to my latest review. So yes, they're coming. It came out a lot faster than I thought. So you have an early access over there on Patreon, and it will last until Saturday. And on Sunday, everyone will be getting a brand new review from me, and it will be a lot of fun. Trust me. Trust me on this one. Then on Friday, we'll have a feel good movies that we remember part 6, and that one will be partially uh, recorded. I'll have to record my part with Lance because he will not make it live, but we're gonna do a recording at some point today to get that in. And on Saturday, the 2nd of December, we will be watching Gremlins 1984, and that should be a lot of fun. I do love that movie so much. And it's definitely one I always watch every Christmas. It is not a uh, it is not like a typical, traditional movie for Christmas, but it is part of a lot of people's traditions, especially mine, to watch it every year. It's really great. A great fun. And, just to, keep you guys ahead of the list, we've got, Saturday the 9th, we'll be doing watch party for Gojira 1954. I was gonna use, different, ways of getting to this, but they actually have it on, HBO Max, and so I'll just be using my HBO Max, um, subscription for that one. And let's see, we've got the next one is on the 16th, I'll be doing a watch party for It's a Wonderful Life. And then on the 23rd, I'll be doing A Christmas Story 1983. Then to close out the year, on the 30th of December, we'll be watching Trading Places. And I picked that one because Trading Places does have a connection to Christmas and New Year's Eve, so that's actually gonna be fun. I can't wait for that one. And, yeah, that's gonna settle us out for the rest of the year, I think, as far as things to look forward to, and, definitely looking for, movies that I'm gonna be, watching for, um, for 2024. And, Carrie says, I just use a pen to type. My fingers are a bit big." And, Daryl Johnson says, "I'm just getting warmed up, sensible woman." And Keith E says, "They were good at using classics that they didn't have to pay rights to use." Yeah, yeah. And, Gary Carpenter says he spelled his name wrong, Timothy, this is the correct way. Oh, okay. Uh, Daryl Jones, "This is, why Daily Wire is doing Snow White, and there's nothing Disney can do about it." Yeah, no, anybody can do the, Snow White. Okay, so, guys, my favorite Snow White movie stars, Sigourney Weaver, and it's called Snow White, uh, something terror. Oh gosh, let me find it now. Now I have to find it 'cause I can't. A Tale of Terror. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's so good. Oh, guys, it's great. We got Sam Neill in it as well. It's great. He plays the dad. And let me see if I can get a trailer for you. Man, because it's so good. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. This is the one, guys. This is the Snow White I like. But I also like the original too, though. The original Disney one, I do like that one. But there's so many. There must be at least 50 different Snow White stories out there, and the reason why you can have it is it's a grim fairy tale, and they are, you can basically use any one of their stories for whatever you want. There's no copyright on it. Um, and Sigourney Weaver is fantastic in this. And they give a full backstory on the queen, and you really sympathize with her, but also she's really a piece of work, really a piece of work. um, and Gary says, "I haven't seen Kong versus Godzilla." And Daryl says, "Does she use a flamethrower? That would be awesome." Oh, no, she doesn't, but she doesn't need one. She doesn't. She's got some tricks up her sleeve. That one. Yeah, there's a couple of moments in there that's, like, totally horrible, but there's a reason why she's completely out of her mind, and she slowly gets crazier and crazier and crazier as the story goes along. Wonderful, love it. It is a little scary, it's not for kids. I mean, it kids can watch it, but yeah, it's not not really. It's more for grown-ups, but I did watch it when I was a kid. Um, well, I wasn't a kid, was I? It was 1997, so I was a kid at heart. Um, yeah, that's a good one. So, guys, well, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. So, I hope we didn't get too passionate about the way we're feeling there about the things that are happening. But I really feel like this is a bigger story about um, the way that our culture today is moving along in a different direction than going to the movies on the weekends every weekend. I think we're just developing new patterns, and instead of blaming audiences or 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 saying that, hey, um, there's something wrong with people doing that, there needs to be a different way of doing this. And also, like, this whole thing of, like, valuing a movie by its the amount of money that it makes in the box office is something that is a flawed metric as to how good the movie is and how much we should value that movie. But, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. I think these are things that we'll have to work on gently, but it isn't our fault. We're just doing things differently, but also, uh, studios are gonna have to have a different motivation for people to go see those movies. And I think they're trying to figure something out, but they're not. The worst thing that they're doing is blaming audiences. Just not the way to go, not the way to go. Don't blame us, we're your customers. We're all you got. And El Necron is here. Is it late but saying hello? Good to see you, El Necron. How are you? I hope everything is well. It's been so crazy for me. I haven't seen you in so long. Oh man. Let's see. And Unicorn says, sorry, I missed the last 10 minutes. I had to deal with some stuff. Oh, I think, oh, well, the last 10 minutes I've been talking about the schedule that's coming up, which is, um, well, you could just like go back 10 minutes after we're all done. But I just went over the schedule, and I was trying to tell everybody, go see. the trailer for Snow White: A Tale of Terror, because it is, one of my favorite versions of Snow White, and in that case, they did change things a little bit about, the story, but it was really, really good. It was really good. And, Gary Carpenter says they've done Cinderella in the same way, re remakes. Yep, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, they've had a lot of Sleeping Beauty, movies, and, you name it, they've done it all. And a lot of the low budget movie companies, they've been doing a lot independent movie companies, they've been doing a lot of this stuff and reimagining stuff, you know, ju having a lot of fun with it, and and they're you can understand these aren't companies with a lot of money, so they're just having fun with it, and so we're all lucky to get something, interesting, in that case. You want them to do something interesting. What will you create? Um, and El Necron says, I have an idea. Rebel Moon watch along for Pandora's Box. Will it be out by then? Yeah, it sounds decent. Um, uh, and Unicorn Weapon Studio says the proliferation of so much small content everywhere that you can actually have to avoid things. That you actually have to avoid things to find out things you didn't use to have to look, I guess, for, since there was so little of it being shown to you. Yes, I do understand what you're saying. So now we have all this stuff, all these pieces of content. We've got um, 2 more things being released today from Disney that weren't even, uh, advertised. We've got a movie called The Artificial Dodger, and then we've got Mickey's Christmas Tales. It's not advertised anywhere, just shows up on Disney Plus. And so, what's the use in having this there if it's not gonna, you haven't promoted it, you haven't done any material to promote this stuff, just drop it on the channel and, on the service, and nobody knows about it. So if you don't get anybody to watch it, that's not whose fault is that? There has to be more, exposure, and Unicorn says there used to be very few options. Yes, with a lot of heart and soul going into some of them. Thank you. And no matter how much heart and soul you put into it, there's a bunch, more just like it, or a bunch very different. Yeah. Um, insert punctuation. And Keith E says, Hooper says you don't need to know stinking punctuation. Hooper. And yeah, that I think that's the ultimate, is that we have a lot of choices. We have a lot of choices for our weekend. We have new seasons, like Netflix just dropped like 4 animes. I'm like full seasons of anime. I'm like, I'm trying to catch up. We've got we got new movies coming out, but as El Necron mentioned, Rebel Moon is coming out in a while, like in a month or so. Um, right, I think it's the 20th. Um, Netflix just dropped a movie. There's more movies being dropped. And it's crazy. There's a lot of choices now. So tell me why I should leave my house. Like, why should I leave here to go to the movie theater? There's, like, rats in the movie theater. There's, like, you know what I mean? There you can only see it once, so you go to the theater to see just one showing of it. Uh, there's it's not always clean. You got people coughing and making noise, and It's not always a wonderful experience. Sometimes it's extra annoying. So if you're at home, now the joy of seeing a movie in the big on the big screen is a wonderful thing. I'm not gonna say that it's not. It is absolutely incredible to see a beautiful movie, whether it's an action flick or a special event, special effects movie, or if it's a drama. Those things are just wonderful on the big screen. They're really great to see. But unless it's like a something where there's a reason for you to go see this besides you can just see it. And I know there are some people who are like, why would you see a movie on your phone eh, or on a computer or laptop or on a TV screen instead of seeing it in a theater? That's great. I don't have like how much money does it cost to go to see movies in the theater now? It's not cheap. And you've got to get there too. You've got to get to the movie theater. There's a lot to it. So I don't know. I'm just uh, there has to be more. Now, okay, so El Necron says, I'm going to see Godzilla minus one Saturday at the IMAX. Now, I saw the trailer for this movie and it looks incredible. It looks incredible. And I was look, this is one if you were gonna see something in a theater like this, yeah, this is this is an event. We've never had anything like this in America. Um, and it just feels different. So people, especially Godzilla fans, are gonna go out to see this one, and it's gonna be great. And William Blake Hall is here. I'm amazed to have made it here just in time to say I will always go to the theater, especially a small neighborhood theater, no multiplex. Oh, those are the best, but I don't even have access to theaters like I don't even have access to theaters like that. That's one of my biggest problem, and there's a growing number of people who are afraid to go outside. I was watching some videos of a lot of people who have not gone outside. They they don't want to go outside as they're afraid, which is sad, but uh, that's a growing situation. Winter Soldier is here. Says, I'm seeing Godzilla minus one today. You see what I'm talking about, guys? This movie is special. That's a special movie, Godzilla. For all of the people who love Godzilla movies, minus one is special, and it's gonna get people to the movie theater. Uh, Also, what else? Uh, Daryl Jones says, "How much does it cost?" Last movie I saw was Harry Potter: and Deadly Hallows. Um, and he says, "William, two jokes in the beginning. You need to review. Let us know what you think next time." And yeah, it is. Um, yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. We can Google and find out how much it is. I forgot. We have a supercomputer at our fingers. um, how much does it cost to go to the movies? The average movie ticket costs $11.75 in 2022. Uh, uh, in New York, prices reach $28 depending on the format. Ooh, $28. No, thank you. Wow. Um, yeah, so on average, the cost of a movie theater in the United States is around $9 to $13 per person. However, this can vary based on the time of day, the theater type, and location. Um, so it's around $9 to $13. Um, that's a lot of money. I know it's not a whole lot of money, but it is it is a nice chunk. It is a nice chunk. So, I see. And oh gosh. What anybody call about Fantastic Four? Am I the only person who has never noticed Reed Richards is boring? I think I don't. Well, I don't think he's that boring. It's. I guess he's got to be he's got to be the straight one, and everybody else. The comedy or issues or drama comes from everybody else. Dale Johnson says, "Holy moly, I wait for it to come on on demand." Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are doing that. But I mean, it's good to go to the theater and see things, but a lot of people are avoiding a lot of things like communication and contact with other people. They're avoiding the sometimes gross. Some people think that it's gross going to the movies. It's not clean. There are other people who are just like, um, some people just like physically can't go to the movie theater. Physically can't go. So, uh, and Daryl Johnson says he's the big brain. Yeah, he's the big brain. And all right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna close this out right now. I really hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and it won't start up the conversation again with this. Like I just did that. I was trying to say goodbye to you guys, and then I started up the conversation again. But I won't. So without further ado, guys, I am going to leave, and I want to give you guys a warning. Um, I am going to change the outro and make it a little bit shorter. I know, I know. For those of you who love the long outro, I'm with you. I love that long outro, and I might use it every once in a while. So I'm not getting rid of it altogether forever and ever, but I want to start using the shorter outro, which is intro, because it will get us right into this to the to the content right away. Um, and I hope it won't be too bad. Next, we'll try it on Friday. Okay, so on Friday I'll try the brand new intro that I made for the channel. So let me know if you like it or not. If it's too short, or I could change it a little bit. But I would like your feedback on Friday. All right. Well, I'll take care, guys. You have a good one. And without further ado, I bid you adieu, and I'll see you in the next video.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.